with the Judicial Service Commission interviews ongoing in Sandton. Let's continue to take stock of how these have fared so far, with commissioners now probing some candidates for the fourth consecutive day. Let's invite our guest. The chairperson of the South African Women's Lawyer Association Development Fund is Nomahlubi Khwinana, who joins us now via our video link. Nomahlubi, great to have you on the SABC. Thank you very much indeed for your time and your patience. I wonder if I can begin by just gauging from you whether you reckon we are getting the quality of interviews we had always called for at the JSC, given how important these roles that need to be filled are.
Is it good morning still?
It still
good
is.
Morning to you and the listeners. Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity really to speak on an issue that is very close to our hearts, especially as women lawyers in the country. I must say that, with the way that the interviews are going, we do believe that we're definitely getting quality of the kind of judiciary that we need, regard being heard really to the manner in which it is done. The fact that it is being done publicly, it then speaks to the cornerstone really of our democracy as a country, to an extent that really as the members of the public or even members of the judiciary and really anyone in the country is able to see and scrutinize for themselves as to whether really the people that are being appointed are people that deserve to really sit on the bench.
Right. This is also the first session or tranche of interviews that are chaired by Chief Justice Mandisa Maya. And I'm only mentioning her because in many instances, she's been seen as, a symbol of what we're hoping to achieve insofar as transformation and gender parity is concerned. Are these issues, at least from your vantage point, getting enough attention during these interviews?
I believe they are really, we must say that we're still celebrating as women in the country that we now have our first Chief Justice, a woman who is really deserving to be at this point a Chief Justice in the country. And I really believe that we are definitely paying attention as a country to the fact that the judiciary has not had enough representation, especially with regard to women. And this is addressed by the candidates really that are being appointed. We already saw that with regard to Land Claims Court, Judge Cohen has been seconded, a good thing for us really as women. And we are really proud because then we know that indeed some strides are being made. But truth be told, it still more needs to be done where that is concerned. We cannot say that it is enough. You'll understand that as of last year, it was 100 years since we could say that women have been allowed in the country to practice law. And we are talking about women, white women. And when it comes to Black women, it is only about 67 years or so. So really, we still need to do more. And for us to be able to say for sure that strides are made. But we think some good work is really being done on the ground.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to ask you next. I mean, it's one thing to have women judges on the bench. It's another to ensure that the judiciary is alive to the plight of women inside the sector. I've been, watching with interest how some of the candidates respond, for example, to issues around how they deal with sexual harassment within the judiciary. And it certainly shed light for outsiders on just perhaps sometimes how ill-equipped it seems some of these judges are to deal with some of those issues.
Now, that is the truth. Really, that has been shown. It has been proven that most of them are really not paying attention, especially in that regard. And our policies, even in the judiciary system, are not enough to address these issues. In fact, not so long ago, we had an engagement with the University of Cape Town, where we are really taking stock on these challenges that are faced by women that are judges, that are magistrates, that are legal practitioners in the country that are faced with this pandemic, if one has to call it that way. And what we have noted is how they're unable to talk about this. Remember, these are women that are expected themselves to go and represent victims of the same abuse. Now they themselves have to call out on those that have perpetuated the same offenses against them. So it is a thorny issue, and really it needs more attention. More policies needs to be developed, but we need to create better spaces, safe spaces for women where they can be able to speak out about these issues, because the truth is that really a lot of women are being violated, and really men have not come to realize how much a danger it is really to our society. This pandemic is, especially when one is looking for a job, and then they find themselves having to be so compromised that they allow themselves to be abused in order for them just to ascend to this throne.
Absolutely. I suppose it's been sobering to see how even the judiciary hasn't been spared that kind of scourge. Nomahlubi, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much indeed for giving us your thoughts as we continue watching these interviews unfold in Sandton. Nomahlubi Khwinana is the chairperson of the South African Women's Lawyers Association Development Fund. We really do appreciate your take on this very issue.